For thousands of years, the woolly mammoth ruled the frozen north. Then it vanished from the earth forever. Humans know this giant only through bones and ancient drawings, a lost species frozen in time. But deep beneath Arctic ice, pieces of the past still remain, frozen DNA locked inside the permafrost. Modern scientists believe extinction might not be permanent, because DNA can sometimes survive for thousands of years. One of those scientists is Harvard geneticist George Church, a pioneer in the field of genetic engineering. He works with a powerful gene editing tool called CRISPR, technology that allows scientists to rewrite genetic code. The mammoth's closest living relative is the Asian elephant, and their DNA is surprisingly similar. By comparing their genes, scientists can identify key mammoth traits, like thick fur, small ears, and cold resistance. In 2021, a company called Colossal Biosciences was founded, with one bold mission: to bring back extinct species. George Church became one of the scientific leaders of the project. Their first target, the woolly mammoth. But this is not cloning like in the movies. Scientists are editing elephant DNA to add mammoth traits. They identify genes responsible for fur, fat layers, and cold tolerance, then carefully modify those genes in elephant cells. Once edited, these cells can be used to create an embryo carrying both elephant and mammoth DNA. But carrying such an embryo is a major challenge. Elephants have long pregnancies and complex biology. Using a real elephant surrogate raises ethical concerns. The risks to the mother could be significant. So scientists are exploring artificial womb technology, a system that could grow embryos outside a living animal. The goal is not just to create a mammoth. It is to return it to the Arctic ecosystem. Mammoths once shaped the Arctic landscape, knocking down trees and maintaining open grasslands. Open grasslands reflect more sunlight than forests, helping keep the Arctic soil colder. If permafrost melts, it releases massive amounts of carbon, a threat that could accelerate climate change. Scientists believe restoring grasslands could slow Arctic warming, and mammoths may be the key to that change. Researchers are already testing how large animals affect frozen soil, using modern species as stand-ins for ancient giants. Large animals compact snow as they move, allowing cold air to penetrate deeper into the soil. This helps keep the permafrost frozen longer, reducing the amount of greenhouse gases released. The Arctic holds more carbon than all human emissions combined, most of it locked in frozen ground. As global temperatures rise, that frozen ground is beginning to thaw, releasing gases that warm the planet even more. Scientists hope mammoth-like animals could help restore this balance by reshaping the land as their ancestors once did. The animal created will not be a pure mammoth, but an elephant adapted for life in the Arctic cold. Not everyone agrees this should be done.
Some scientists warn of unknown ecological risks.
Bringing back an extinct species raises difficult questions about nature, responsibility, and the limits of science. Some experts argue we should focus on saving species that still exist, rather than bringing back those already gone. Today, thousands of species face extinction due to human activity, habitat loss, climate change, and poaching. Supporters say the technology developed for de-extinction could also help protect endangered animals today. Advanced genetic tools can preserve biodiversity by storing and studying the DNA of threatened species. The same methods used for mammoths could one day revive birds, reptiles, or other lost animals. One famous candidate is the dodo, a bird driven to extinction by human activity. Each project comes with different scientific challenges and different ecological consequences. Another is the Tasmanian tiger, a predator that disappeared in the 20th century. Reintroducing a species could change food chains, a delicate balance built over thousands of years. Still, the idea of seeing these animals alive again captures the imagination of people around the world. For younger generations, extinct animals are just pictures in books, or bones behind museum glass. De-extinction could change how people think about extinction itself, making it feel less permanent. Some experts worry this could reduce urgency to protect endangered species that are still alive. Yet scientific progress has always raised difficult questions. From early genetics to modern biotechnology, each breakthrough gives humans more power over life itself, and more responsibility for the consequences. If mammoth-like animals are born, they will enter an environment very different from the past. Climate change has already reshaped the Arctic, making survival more challenging than before. Scientists must study how these new animals would interact with species that live there today. The return of an extinct species would be historic, but also deeply uncertain. Every step of the project requires careful monitoring, from genetics to long-term ecological impact. After years of research, the first viable embryos could soon exist, carrying the traits of a long-lost species. These embryos would need carefully controlled environments to survive the earliest stages of development. Artificial womb technology may play a critical role, reducing risks to living surrogate animals. Protecting modern elephants remains a top priority. They are an endangered species themselves. News of the project has sparked worldwide debate across science, politics, and social media. Some people see hope in reversing human-caused extinctions. Others fear unintended consequences. Humans have driven countless species to extinction. Now science is attempting to reverse that history. The emotional power of seeing an extinct animal alive would be unlike anything in modern history. But behind the excitement lies years of uncertainty and the possibility of failure. The path to de-extinction is long and unpredictable, and the world is watching closely. After years of trials, a breakthrough moment may finally arrive, a viable embryo showing stable development. Every variable must be carefully controlled: temperature, nutrients, and oxygen levels. For months, scientists would monitor development, watching for signs of healthy growth. The process would take nearly 2 years, similar to the long pregnancy of an elephant. Gradually, recognizable features begin to appear: a trunk, thick skin, and dense hair follicles. Every day would bring both hope and anxiety. A single complication could end the experiment. Teams of specialists would work around the clock, preparing for a moment no human has seen before. As the final days approach, tension would fill the laboratory, the world waiting for news. A carefully planned delivery would begin, with no room for error. After thousands of years, a species once lost stands on the edge of returning to Earth. In a sterile laboratory room, the final procedure begins, every detail carefully controlled. Scientists slowly open the artificial womb, revealing a newborn unlike any seen in modern times. It takes its first breath, a hybrid of elephant and mammoth DNA. Years of work, debate, and uncertainty have led to this single moment. The calf shows traits long lost to time: thicker fur and smaller ears for cold survival. It struggles to stand at first, just like any newborn elephant. Vital signs remain stable, a critical first milestone achieved. Initial genetic tests confirm the edits worked. Mammoth traits are present. Within hours, the news spreads across the globe. Humanity witnesses the return of an ancient lineage. But birth is only the beginning. The real challenge is survival. The calf's first days are spent under constant observation, every breath and movement carefully monitored. Without a natural mother, humans must provide early care, including nutrition designed to mimic elephant milk. Veterinary teams track growth and development, looking for any unexpected health issues. Strength slowly builds as the calf learns to walk, a crucial step toward long-term survival. Its thick fur begins to develop, one of the key adaptations for cold environments. Behavioral studies help scientists understand how closely it resembles elephant social patterns. Gradual exposure to lower temperatures begins, testing its ability to handle the cold. Thermal imaging reveals strong insulation. Its body retains heat more efficiently than elephants. One day, this animal may step outside the lab, into a world not seen by its kind for millennia. As the calf grows stronger, training moves outdoors, preparing it for life in cold environments. Walking through snow requires strength and balance, skills essential for Arctic survival. It begins learning how to find food beneath the snow, a behavior mammoths once relied on. Its diet is gradually adjusted to match the plants found in northern ecosystems. Exposure to strong winds tests its cold weather adaptations, including fur density and fat layers. Tracking devices are added for future monitoring, allowing scientists to follow its movements in the wild. Behavior in larger spaces is carefully recorded to understand how it navigates open landscapes. Scientists study how it responds to modern elephants, its closest living relatives. Months of data help determine readiness for the next and most challenging step. If all goes well, the journey to the Arctic will begin. a return to the cold lands of its ancestors. The journey north begins inside a specially designed aircraft, built to transport one of the rarest animals on Earth. Hours later, the Arctic wilderness stretches beneath the aircraft, a landscape untouched by time, landing in one of the coldest regions on Earth. The next phase is about to begin. Every movement is controlled and monitored. There is no room for mistakes here. The tundra awaits, cold, silent, and wide beyond imagination. For the first time, it sees the open Arctic, a world its species once called home. Its first steps into the wild are slow and uncertain. Instinct and memory begin to take over. It scans the frozen air, sensing a world both new and ancient. Scientists keep their distance now. The wild must take the lead. A species lost for thousands of years walks the Earth again. The experiment has entered its final chapter. Alone in the Arctic, survival begins immediately. There are no walls here and no second chances. It searches for food beneath the snow, a behavior passed down from extinct ancestors. Every meal requires effort. Energy is precious in this frozen world. Wind becomes a constant challenge. Cold is not just temperature, it is force. Instinct guides it to break the surface. Fresh water means another day alive. The Arctic is not empty. Other animals are watching this newcomer. Finding water is harder than it seems. Most of it is locked beneath ice. A snowstorm rolls in without warning. Weather here changes everything. Seeking shelter becomes the priority. Survival often means simply enduring. In this endless landscape, one life carries the weight of history. The return of a lost giant has begun. Satellite tracking now follows every step. The world is watching from thousands of miles away. As it moves, the ground begins to change. Snow cover shifts, revealing vegetation underneath. These changes may help other species find food, just as mammoths once shaped this ecosystem. Scientists monitor its health and behavior in real time. Technology bridges the gap between wild and laboratory. Some scientists believe large grazers could slow permafrost melting by compacting snow and exposing soil. Less snow insulation allows deeper cold to reach the soil, a possible defense against climate change. News of its survival spreads worldwide. Reactions range from excitement to deep concern. Some question whether humans should reverse extinction. The debate is only beginning. While humans argue, the animal continues its journey, unaware of the storm surrounding its existence. In the Arctic silence, the experiment moves forward. Nature will decide what happens next. Seasons begin to change around the animal. Its first Arctic year is a test of endurance. Vegetation patterns slowly shift. Other animals start to follow the changes. Soil temperatures are monitored carefully. Scientists search for signs of ecological impact. Early data suggests subtle cooling in disturbed areas, but long-term effects remain uncertain. As months pass, the animal grows stronger, adapting to a world that no longer remembers its kind. It shares the landscape with modern Arctic species. A balance must slowly be established. Its range expands across the tundra. Each movement adds to a historic data record. For the first time in thousands of years, a mammoth-like figure stands under the northern lights. The project sparks a new scientific era, one that forces humanity to rethink extinction. This is no longer just an experiment. It is the beginning of a new relationship with nature. One animal now walks where its species once ruled, but the future is still uncertain. This could redefine conservation entirely. Some believe this is the future of conservation, bringing back species lost to time. Others warn that extinction cannot truly be reversed, only imitated through modern science. Genetics can rebuild bodies, but ecosystems are far more complex. Yet in the Arctic wind, the animal simply lives, unaware of the debates surrounding its existence. For a new generation, extinction may no longer seem permanent. Science is changing what is possible. The real question remains, will this technology help save species still living today? Climate change continues to reshape the Arctic. Time is running out for many species. They brought back one lost giant, but they cannot control what happens next. The return of the mammoth is not an ending. It is a question humanity must now answer. The success of one project sparks new ambitions. Other extinct species are now being studied. Some teams are already researching Ice Age predators.
The possibilities are expanding quickly.
Ancient DNA is fragile and rare. Each discovery could unlock another lost species. Scientists must also ask a difficult question. Where would these animals fit in today's world? Back in the Arctic, life continues for the first returnee. Each season reveals new challenges. Governments and institutions around the world take interest. De-extinction is becoming a global discussion. The project now measures not just survival, but the animal's influence on the land itself. Ethical questions grow louder. Should humans decide we must species recurrent?
But science has its limits.
Meanwhile, the animal continues its quiet life. Unaware, it has changed the course of science. For centuries, extinction meant the end of a chapter. Now, science has reopened the book. In this frozen valley, the present meets the distant past. A shadow of the Ice Age walks once more. Each sunrise marks a future no human has witnessed before, a world where lost species may return. The line between past and future is beginning to blur, and this story is far from over. What was once drawn only in textbooks now lives outside the pages of history. They did not create a copy of the past. They started something entirely new. The story of the mammoth is no longer just history. It is now part of our future. From laboratory to wilderness, the journey has redefined possibility and challenged what extinction truly means. De-extinction may reshape conservation across the planet, changing how we protect life itself. Under ancient constellations, the experiment sleeps, a quiet miracle beneath the northern sky. But in the Arctic wind, none of these debates exist. Only life continuing as it always has. In the end, the Arctic remains vast and indifferent. Life continues, one step at a time. The scientists step back and let nature decide. Their role in this chapter is complete. What was once only a fossil now walks beneath the open sky. For the first time, a lost species is not just history. It is part of the present. The Arctic sunset casts long shadows, some from the past, some from the future. Science made this moment possible. Nature will determine what happens next. In a world facing rapid change, one experiment reminds us of our power and responsibility. The return of the mammoth is only the beginning. The future of life on Earth is now in human hands. Even the largest footprints fade with time, but their impact can last far longer. Under the same sky as its ancestors, a new chapter quietly unfolds. With every sunrise, the Arctic tells a new story, one that had been silent for thousands of years. From microscopic cells to a living giant, science has completed an impossible journey. For future generations, extinction may no longer mean forever. The rules of nature are being rewritten. They brought it back. But they cannot guide every step it takes. The tracks lead forward into an unknown future, where science and nature now walk together. In the strands of DNA, the past and future connect, a reminder of how fragile life truly is. Our planet is changing faster than ever before. Human choices now shape the fate of life itself. In the vast silence of the Arctic, one life carries the weight of an entire era. This story is not about the past alone. It is about the future we choose to create. It does not know it is history in motion. It simply lives, one day at a time. Life has returned to a place where silence once ruled, and the world is watching what happens next. It breathes the same air its ancestors once did, but in a world that is no longer the same. Science can guide and observe, but nature will decide the rest. The climate is changing, and every life must adapt to survive. It walks between the ancient and the unknown, a bridge across lost time. For the first time in human history, extinction no longer feels permanent. The code of life has been read and rewritten by human hands. One day, it may vanish again into the wild, leaving only questions behind. The edge of possible is closer than we think. What we bring back will shape the future of our planet.